Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. It's time for Owin's Field Report, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
Now, this week was better. It seemed like things are better. And a lot of you have watched this show for a very long time, and I appreciate your support like you would not believe. I get a chance to meet folks out on the water all the time. Well, one of the first questions I get a lot is, you fish by yourself? A lot, because the guys that I fish with or that are willing to fish with, they have real jobs, okay? They're not able to be there. So when I'm out there, I'm one guy, one stick, or right now on the Willamette, you can fish too. And I'm going to take advantage of that. So this week I was covering a little bit of ground, fished a couple of different areas on the Willamette, and settled just decided just to stay in my backyard, which is in the Oregon City area. Now, we've talked about it for years here forever, since day one. A long time, that there is no more frustrating place to fish spring chinook than in the Oregon City area when the temperature is about 50 to 53, 54 degrees. Now, why would that be? Well, because that's an egg bite. And if you don't have good eggs, I'm just telling you right now, you can take the consensus or make the argument, you just got to run into a biter. Well, I don't buy into that. You got to have the right pieces of the puzzle, because it's where the consistency lies, is when you got one boat, a dude, a guide, whatever, that is more consistent than everyone else. They're not just running into more fish than everyone else. I'm sorry. They got something going on. Well, I was able to get in on it a little bit with the egg bite. Not a lot, but I was able, and I've talked about this before, in that situation, for you that might be in that area as well, and this falls down to pretty much any river system, any sort of fishery that you might be partaking in. Maybe it'll even happen on the Columbia before the springers are gone. Who knows? We'll get to that here in just a second. But prawns. Let's show that first photo, Ryan, that I've got there. This is one of the things that saved me this week. Now, I'll admit, this got bit 3 different times. I hooked 2, lost 1, landed 1 on prawn. This is a full-size prawn, spin and glow, 4 6-millimeter beads. And it's rigged here with a curl so that it spins, right? I was actually back trolling that behind a jumbo jet diver, like everybody else that's out there. Now, I was running some of the Ultimate Egg Cure eggs. I did get a fish on that. So let's take a look at that photo. Right there. Now, you can see it's just not a big fish, which is the way all of them have been. This week, I saw quite a few fish get caught, which I was really pleased to see finally, but they're all sub-double digit. They're just everything. So it's been tiny. Now, was a couple that were supposedly in the teens. I never saw them. I didn't fight them. I didn't land one. But at the very least, they're delicious. I'll put it that way. I can tell you this, that Eva reminded herself why she loves spring chinook so much. We're going to be eating it again, I think tonight, maybe tomorrow. Depends, because I got some fresh stuff. But I was also able to get out and cheat. And I say that because Jason Hambley, who we're going to show a photo of here, called me up on Thursday night, I think it was, and said, hey, you want to go fishing? I'm like, yeah. See something different, do something different, and burn your eggs? We had some luck yesterday. There was certainly some fish. We caught some fish. I will admit, this particular one, obviously it was was returned. That was the biggest fish I got to deal with this week. Thanks, Jason. He made that one happen in a number of different ways. But it was fun to get out there. And by the way, this good-looking guy, it's his birthday today. So Jason, happy birthday to you. I had a chance to fish with him, his buddy Nick, and his buddy Casey yesterday. And we had a great time. Obviously, the weather was great. We caught a steelhead in there and some chinook, and I was able to take home the perfect eater size chinook. So it was definitely a good day to get out there. But overall, it seems like things are improving on the Willamette as well. It's been in the Oregon City area, eggs, sand shrimp, prawns, coon shrimp, or plugs. Primarily, it's been eggs. I hope you got good ones. Although I will admit, it seems like things are getting better all the way down. And there were some reports from yesterday and Thursday that were pretty impressive, better than I've heard from the lower sections, not necessarily the channel, but the lower sections of the main stem of the Willamette. So that 360 thing, even though we're getting 52 up in Oregon City, it's on, really. I'm going to throw that out there to you. Willamette counts haven't really bounced much, but they at least are updating it. And this is very, very consistent with what it's been the last 10 years, which is not good. But at the very least, are keeping up on it. Taking a look at the Columbia, which really, for now, is only relevant to the folks that are going to spend time above Bonneville. And there's certainly some options there. Let's take a look at the river level. There you go. You're catching your cues. They're not bouncing like we need to see. We talked with Bill Monroe Jr. about this last week. We need to see 4-digit numbers for a pretty significant amount of time before they're going to start talking about maybe giving us a little bit more time to chase some springers on the Columbia below Bonneville. Now, of course, it is open above Drano, wind, this and that. Make sure you check all your regulations. Before you go up there and do anything. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, okay? But there are some fish that are starting to make their way over Bonneville, which will be the incentive to head that direction, right? No sense in going if there's nothing over, but there are certainly some fish that are over the dam. Let's take a look at the river levels. Nothing too dramatic. Another interesting set here, though. This is below the falls at Oregon City. Yes, the tide affects the river level all the way up to the falls. Some people like to argue that, but it's pretty funny. Tide, what they're doing at Bonneville, all that kind of comes into play. So you're starting to see a little bit more of a funky thing going on there, which is going to mess with the current in the Willamette, which has been a sore spot this last week. Things seems to, again, improve a little bit. Let's move on, take a look at the turbidity. No big deal, down at 2. So basically it's clear. Pay attention to that. Let's take a look at the clarity on the, don't even need that. River level here, same thing, Vancouver. And I think that in the end, again, the turbidity for the Columbia is below, or excuse me, is below Bonneville, yes. So that turbidity isn't so awesome, but look at that. A little bit of a bounce there. That's interesting. Some of the rivers up above must be dumping some, maybe the John Day, white salmon, something like that, maybe coloring things up. That's interesting. Either way, though, cross your fingers, we might be able to get back out there and chase some of those things. Okay, so a couple of quick reminders here, though. We don't want to forget this Columbia Springs event. We had the folks that were in here just a short period of time ago. Just what was that? About a month ago, Ryan? Talking about the opportunity to get out and help some kids, have some fun chasing some fish around. It's Saturday, May 18th from 8 to 2. They need help. They need mentors, folks to help the kids actually be successful fishing. You're not going to be fishing for them, but, you know, tying knots, making sure that they're casting right and being safe, right? They need gear, primarily bait. So there's ways that you can really help these folks out. This is Catherine's email address. If you might have that opportunity, or maybe you want to go participate, it's actually at the Columbia Springs site. Send them an email and do something that you might be able to help some kids out having fun. And I'm going to go ahead and say a huge thank you to everyone that's been donating rods and reels for Rods and Reels in Need at Fisherman's Marine at all 3 of their locations. It goes through tomorrow. They've already gotten hundreds of rod and reel combos and individual rods and reels. So can't thank everybody enough, but this is the reason why this community is so awesome. And here's another way that you can help get kids involved in the outdoors. So please don't be shy. If you have the opportunity to do so, please do. Also, here's a way that you can give Jason a hard time. Oh, I almost went too far. Willamette Falls Banquet is tonight. That's over at the Monarch Hotel. I believe that starts at 6. I'm pretty sure. So if you're a CCA member, get over there and hang out with some of the folks that you already know that you get along with. But if you're not a member of the CCA, this is a great opportunity where you can go find out what it is that they're doing and maybe contribute a little bit and head home with something super cool. Because some of the events that they have there, giveaways, auctions, this and that, is certainly something that's pretty fun to get involved with. And the food over there is not bad either. Procure, send an email to Jason. You might have a chance to win that. And yes, there's a winner every week. We have that. I'm just terrible with announcing the name, but at the very least, yes, it's real for you conspiracy theorists out there. Jeez, killing me. Katie Suniga, thank you. Save me. I'm running so over. I'm so long here. But a lot of information to catch up on after a week. But it looks like things are still going to stay pretty nice for us around here.
I think that anybody who is a hardcore person to be outdoors is not going to mind what we have coming up in our 7-day forecast. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the model forecast. You'll see a few clouds coming in by the time we get to about the 10 o'clock hour. And then just a few showers starting for us maybe around 2, but going through until about 6 o'clock, and then maybe another sprinkle a little later. And then we have another chance for a few showers tomorrow right around 11. And then that's it until possibly to Wednesday, possibly Thursday, depending on how this trough drops in. What we have is just this weak system that's approaching, and then actually a weak high pressure that returns for us. This is what's giving us some warmer temperatures, drier skies Monday, Tuesday. And then this is what I'm talking about right here. You'll notice as we get into Thursday, this starts to drop down. So depending on the timing of that and how that goes, as we talk about together all the time, when it's that far out, we expect it to change. Just know that's what we're tracking. And then these are the only opportunities to see anything the next couple of days, which means we're really not looking at more than 1/10 of an inch. And this isn't just the Portland metro. This is also along the coast and all across the region. Here's what I was talking about. So we have those two systems, the one today bringing us some cooler air and temperatures getting to the low 60s tomorrow. Then we warm back to the low 70s for a couple days, and then that chance for showers starts Wednesday, but looks like it could pick up Thursday. Just slightly below average, upper 50s to low 60s. So yeah, and I say pretty mild for the next week.
Having a little bit of rain in that forecast, keeping the temperatures down. I just got reminded by one of our Facebook viewers that when it gets warm, a little bit more water comes down the river, and you might see some clarity change on the Columbia. So
yeah.
So thanks for that, Captain Obvious. But anyway, we appreciate that, and hopefully it'll hold true. Thank you very much, Katie. We appreciate it. Now, like I had mentioned, we have that giveaway that we do each week, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to give you a little insider thing. Okay. There's actually a contingent of people that think that the giveaway from Procure is fake. It makes me laugh, man. It kills me. And y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go crazy. But anyway, this week's winner, because I just happen to remember, is William Easter. He won this week's pack, just like every week. Wow. We'll be back with my good friend, Steve Kuhn. He is the owner-operator of In the Zone Guide Service. We're going to find out where he is, how things are going with his clients chasing springers this morning, and maybe get his thoughts on how things have been, I think, improving the last handful of days. Let's see if he thinks I'm right or wrong. We'll be back with that in just a minute.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by P-Line, because we fish, by Hawken Fishing, perfection in fishing gear, and by Haxton's Canvas and Upholstery, the trusted name of the Pacific Northwest.